I wanted to provide just a brief overview of the Parent Connection Parent Portal application. This application is very easy to use. It's very easy to just jump right in and start using the application with very little training, but I wanted to just key you into some of the premier functions that are available within the application. And as you can see here, we're currently on the login screen. No surprises here. I can just enter my username and password, and now I can also select a language here using the language drop-down list in which to access the application. By default, English and Spanish is available. However, districts may add additional translations of the application, and in those cases, additional languages will be available in this drop-down list, and then I will be able to access the application in those additional languages. But for the case of this short little demo, I'm going to go ahead and select English so that we access the application in the English language. In the top right corner, you can see I have a help link. And the help link will bring me to a context-aware web help page so that I can have access to some instructions as to what is going on the particular page that I may be viewing within the application. The click here to sign up link will allow me to sign up for an account if I don't already have one. Anybody can sign up for an account simply by entering a username, password, some basic demographic information. However, even though I have a parent account, that does not mean that I have access to any student data. There's a separate process by which I can apply for access to a student, and that is handled differently depending on the district. So I won't go too in-depth there just because districts handle that process very differently. Some have an automatic process, some have a sort of a manual process by which that's handled, but anybody can apply for a parent account. It's just that extra level of security comes into play when I'm applying for access to a student's data. At the bottom of this login screen, you can see that I also have a note from the district. So it looks like if I sign up for an account, I'll have 3 or 5 days before my request may be processed. But this is, however, a free-form comment that may be entered by the district. So keep your eyes peeled for any special notes here at the bottom of the login screen. I'm going to go ahead and log into the application now. This is the default look of the Parent Connection application. School districts do have the ability to customize the look and feel, the colors and some images, add some HTML, and really tweak this page so where it looks different than what you may see here. This is just the default look, and so that's what we're going to be operating under the assumption that your school district is going to provide the application in this format. As you can see, on the left side of the screen, we have some options. From a single parent account, I can have access to multiple students. In this case, I've got 3 guinea pig students here in the left sidebar. We're going to be using Christian here as our student of record. And then, of course, we have all of our different menu items. These are default menu items. School districts may add or remove links depending on their configuration. So if I, as a school district administrator, decide, well, I'm not going to apply access to these links, I can certainly do that. Districts can also build pages and link them from within this application as well. So I may see links here on the left that are not currently here in this demo, but these are most of the default options that are available. As you can see here, I can add a student to my account by clicking this link. I'm not going to go into too much detail, as again I mentioned earlier that districts may handle that differently depending on their process. I can also, as a school district administrator, enter a message here that will display on the main screen here within the Parent Connection application. Now I'm just going to go down this left sidebar here. If I click Assignments, that will bring me to the Assignments page. Upcoming assignments will display by default, and that's going to give me a list of all assignments that are going to be due over the next 7 days. Recent assignments, I can alter the display here and select Recent Assignments, and that's going to show me a list of all assignments that have been due over the past 7 days. Finally, I can select any of individual classes that may be in the student schedule here. So let me go ahead and select, let's try this class. All right. So I can toggle between the different grading cycles if I'm past the current marking period. Right now at my particular campus, the marking period is 1. So once marking period 2 starts, I can now access data for marking period 1 and 2, etc. So if I scroll down, you can see that I have some general class information here. Teachers have the ability to enter free-form notes into this class information and class policies option. The teacher name and email address may be made available, although again, this is one of those things that the school district can decide to restrict access to various teacher information just based on district policy. It all kind of depends on the school district's business practices. Category information on the current class can be made available, as well as any attachments that have been associated with this class by the teacher. You can download that right here. You can see that a lot of helpful information is available here underneath the assignments heading. This particular assignment was called Bio John Wayne, and it was due on October 31st, Halloween 2011. A free-form description was entered by the teacher. It's made available here. The category of this assignment, so you can see it's assigned to homework. If I scroll up, you can see that homework is worth 35% of the student's overall grade. The assigned date is also made available here. I can see the student's grade received, and I can also see some different modifiers that may have been set in place. So for example, the student originally earned a 50, and then the student was allowed to retake the assignment and got a 70. Took a second retake, got a 78. The teacher added 2 points for a score of an 80. A free-form note can also be tied to this assignment for the student. So it looks like the assignment was turned in 2 weeks late, but the teacher allowed the student to make it up for a max grade of an 80. I can also, as a teacher, associate file attachments to an assignment. So if there's perhaps a worksheet or a cheat sheet or some sort of outline that I would wish to attach to this assignment, I can do that and make it available within the portal. If I click Grades, I can get a real-time progress report on my student. So I can see at a glance the student's schedule. Got teacher information here on the left. I can communicate to the teacher via this notes function. So you can see here, if I scooch this into the viewable window, we've been going back and forth here with the teacher. And so within the application, I can send notes to teachers and receive notes from teachers. And so that helps avoid some of the pitfalls of email messaging, because everybody knows emails can be unreliable sometimes. So I can see here that I've got my students' grades for Cycle 1, but if I click on the grade, at the bottom of the screen, that will provide a real-time progress report for the student for this class. So you can see I've got just a few assignments, one in each category. I can see the student's grade in each category as well as the student's average. Any free-form notes entered into the assignment. As you can see, this is the same note we saw on the previous screen. The assignment was retaken and the grade was altered. As you can see, that modifier information is also made available here in the real-time progress report. If I click the attendance link, that will pull up a list of all of the attendance events for the student. So anytime the student receives for example, an absence, a tardy, any attendance event that's not present, that attendance value will appear here in the attendance screen. An optional selection that can be made available here in the left sidebar is discipline. So if the school district has decided to enable the discipline tracking mechanism within the application, I can take a look and see, are there any discipline incidents in the system for my student? As you can see, this particular student was involved in an arson incident, and you can see the action that was taken against the student and when the action began. Triggers notifications can be configured so that if a student's grade drops below or rises above a certain threshold, or if the student receives an attendance event, I can set it to send me an email or a text message. Again, these options are optional, so a district may not use the text messaging function. Now, if that's the case, this option won't appear. But by default, we do allow for email and text message notifications, and parents can configure their notifications here using the triggers link here in the left sidebar. If I click Calendar, this will bring me to a simple calendar utility, and if I click on a date that has an event, you can see here on the 10th, we have one event. The district posted that that's Columbus Day. There's no school. On the 12th, it looks like the student had a couple of attendance events. On the 14th, it looks like we have a pep rally here at the gym. So a lot of campus and district-specific data can be entered here on the calendar for parents to view. I can manage my students here. I can remove students, add new students, take a look at some basic student data. And finally, I can look at my settings here. And by looking at my settings, I can take a look at a glance and modify my demographic data, modify my email data, etc.